Welcome back to It's Time for Beer. Today is part 3 of my stale ingredient experiment, my stale pale ale. Let me review my timetable here. Brew day was on December 2nd, 2016. Then I dry hopped it with an unknown variety on December 14th. There were 2 ounces of whatever that was. And then I dry hopped on December 18th, 2 ounces of Willamette hops. And bottling day was on December 20th. Let's say the original gravity was about 1.063. On bottling day, I had a final gravity of 1.012, which calculated out comes out to about 6 to 6.3%. I bottled 4.56 gallons of beer. That came out to 46 12-ounce bottles, and then I did 4 of these little 8-ounce bottles for my samples. I calculated the priming sugar for 6 gallons, but then when I finished bottling, I only bottled 4.56 gallons. I actually did bottle to the point where the bucket was empty. The amount of priming sugar I used was 4.85 ounces. I only should have used 3.68 ounces of priming sugar. I was going for 2.4 volumes of CO2. Turns out I'm going to have about 2.9 volumes of CO2, which is, from my research on the internet, quite high. All right, enough of that. Let me get this into a glass and we can kind of see how this turned out. Here goes nothing. I can see the carbonation starting to form up on the top there. Letting it settle down a second. All right. See if I can keep the head to a minimum here. Okay, you can see the head is quite large. It's very cloudy. I did not do any sort of clarification other than a cold crash. That's pretty much it. Now on the video, this color may look almost brownish black, but remember I used 2 pounds of C120 to 12 pounds of grain. It's basically the same color as the bottle. All right, let's see how this smells. Well, right off, I can tell that it's got a lot of Crystal 120 in it. I was just dumping ingredients in. I had them, I just dumped them in. I'm getting some hop aroma, not as much as I was expecting it to smell like a hoppy beer. Let's see how this tastes. It's very malt forward. However, there is a nice tangy hop character to it. The dry hops that I put in, I mean, it's not very floral like you'd expect from a dry hopped beer. I bet if I had changed the chemical additions to the water that I used was just tap water. And my water's got a chlorine twang to it because they use chloramine to clean the water system out where I live. One day I turned my bathtub on and it almost knocked me out of the room. I'm thinking that had a fairly decent amount to do with some of the flavors I'm probably going to be getting in this. I can't tell that I use stale ingredients on this at all. It tastes like some of the other beers that I've brewed. I'm actually quite impressed with how abused some of that stuff was that I used. This is actually pretty decent. My mash converted really quickly. 60 minutes, it was done. The enzymatic power of those grains was not out the window from being abused. It looks like using old grains, not a problem. If I were to brew this side by side with fresh ingredients, I could probably tell a difference. I don't know because that's not the experiment I did. I just wanted to see if it was drinkable. Before you want to throw away those ingredients, have some fun with it. Do an experiment. Just test it out. It's not going to hurt anything. You know, you're not going to lose any money because you were going to throw them out anyway. So drink what you like, enjoy what you drink, and don't be afraid of those old ingredients.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below, and to see more beer reviews and homebrew tutorials, please hit the subscribe button.